Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners regular meeting. It's August 14th, 2014. 7 o'clock, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jackie, would you call the roll, please?
President Riley?
Yes.
Vice President Ori?
Here.
Commissioner Egan?
Present.
Commissioner Heidi?
Here.
Commissioner Janner?
Here.
Commissioner Todd?
Here.
Commissioner Young?
Here.
We don't have any awards or recognition this evening. Do we have anyone from the public signed up to speak? Okay, in that case, we'll start with reports. First report is the Parks and Recreation Committee meeting update. The Parks and Rec Committee met on July 18th. We talked about interpretive signage. The Park District and Naper Settlement staff continue to work on this, focusing on the on-sell system. The Naperville Noon Lions Club recently committed to donating a total of $35,000 to the Naperville Park District for 7 ADA accessible interpretive signs at Knock Knolls Park. For Ashwood Park, a homeowner requested that we convert the prairie to turf grass. The committee recommends against mowing the prairie grass on the berm due to conservation, economic, and safety considerations. An individual approached Director Wilson about forming a group of volunteers to hand out information to people who are feeding wildlife on the Riverwalk. The committee does not recommend this, as the Park Police currently hand out Protect and Enjoy the River wildlife cards and address people who are feeding the wildlife. Another resident would like to name the Mill Street Park ball field after a military veteran. The committee does not support this, as it would set a precedent for naming all parks or portions of parks after veterans, and there are other alternatives that would be more appropriate. Director Wilson provided the committee an update on recreation items, including Centennial Beach. Pass sales are down, but expenses are also down somewhat. The revenue from our synthetic fields is up significantly. Director Finnegan provided the committee with an update on parks items, including the Peace Bowl. That has not yet been scheduled for installation, as they are still waiting for delivery of the pole. And the Naperville Area Humane Society dog and cat sculpture is on schedule. Director Schutz provided the committee with an update on the planning department items, including, first of all, recognition. Sue Omenson was recognized by the Parks and Rec Committee for her hard work in completing the park grant that resulted in an award of $2.5 million towards a future activity center. The Nike Sports Complex cell tower proposal, the National Park Service is opposed to the idea of installing cell towers on land donated by the federal government, which includes Nike Sports Complex, northeastern corner of it. Stormwater drainage pipe improvement at Nike Sports Complex are to be conducted by Naperville Township. An intergovernmental agreement will be necessary for that. We have partnership agreements with the Century Walk for the dog cat sculpture and the sawmill sculpture at Knock Knolls Park. Talked about the administration building flood wall and ADA path. An activity center update, discussed an intergovernmental lease with the city of Naperville for overflow parking. And under the topic of land cash donation ordinance, proposed Burlington Meadows and Hidden Creek subdivision developments that are anticipated will result in donations to the Park District. The next meeting of the committee will be set after the 2014-2015 committee is appointed. Next is the board president update. This past Tuesday, we conducted our annual board retreat led by a qualified facilitator. A retreat provides the Board of Commissioners the opportunity to discuss longer-term planning that is not tied to a specific agenda item that we have to act on currently. This allows us to think about future projects and what the impacts may be on considerations such as land requirements and personnel, which hopefully position us to do the people's business in the best fashion we can. This is the time of the year when the board committees are staffed by board members. It's accomplished by a combination of some board members staying on a committee for 2 or 3 years in a row, and some new members coming onto a committee each year, thus providing institutional knowledge and fresh ideas at the same time. The committees are really the incubators for projects at the Park District. All meetings are open to the public, and the full schedule is available on our website. Finally, on behalf of the board, I'd like to offer a sincere thank you to the staff working on the Knock Knolls Nature Center. Many challenges have arisen during this project, and staff has addressed them swiftly. It's easy to look good when things are going smoothly, but it's a real test of professionalism when unforeseen problems are encountered and solved. Next, we have our Executive Director update. Executive Director McGurry.
Thank you, President O'Reilly. It's time to register for a Naperville annual golf tradition, the Senior City Championship. This two-day tournament, to be held August 27th and 28th, is a great opportunity to play golf at both Springbrook and Naperbrook and enjoy the camaraderie and friendly competition that this event brings. The deadline to register is August 20th. Per person fee includes greens fee, range balls, prizes, and lunch. For information on this, please visit www.golfnaperville.org. And speaking of golf, have you visited our new patios at Springbrook and Naperbrook? Both locations were under renovation earlier in the season to add beautiful paver patios, new shade umbrellas, furniture, and much more. Both facilities also added new food and beverage items to their menus. Patios at both locations are great places for golfers and non-golfers like to enjoy some relaxation, good food, and good company. We've also begun hosting live music on the Springbrook patio. Please visit our golf website for more details on these facilities and upcoming events and other specials. It's hard to believe that we're on the cusp of fall. You wouldn't know that. Obviously, you could probably figure that out today. It feels like it's fall right now. That means that registration for all of our adult sports programs are in full swing. Are you looking for an opportunity to play a sport and that you enjoy with others who share your enthusiasm? Check out one of our many sports leagues, including men's baseball, softball, basketball, and flag football, as well as co-ed softball, volleyball, and soccer. Moving closer to the fall season means that Centennial Beach season is about to wrap up. After Sunday, August 17th, the beach will be open on weekends only through Labor Day, September 1st. We've often been asked why we close the beach so early, especially when not everyone goes back to school at the same time. We understand the questions that are out there, but the fact is that the majority of our staff is comprised of college and high school students from both school districts 203 and 204. Come mid-August, we just don't have enough staff available in general to be open and operate to our full safety standards. Hopefully the weekend weather will cooperate through the beginning of September so we can all enjoy a nice last blast of summer at the beach. Thank you.
Thank you, Executive Director McGurry. Next, we have the approval of the Treasurer's Report.
Move to approve the June 2014 Treasurer's Report.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Jackie, call the roll, please.
Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yep.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes. Next, we have the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
Move to accept consent agenda items A through L.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, call the roll, please.
Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes.
Move to approve.
Yes.
Oh, and Commissioner Young.
Sorry. Move to approve consent agenda items as accepted.
Second.
This is a voice vote.
Thank God.
All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? We have no unfinished business or new business.
President Riley, we overlooked the Riverwalk Commission update.
I apologize to Commissioner Heidi for...
Apology accepted. It's not that exciting anyway. Okay, thank you, President Riley. The Riverwalk Commission met yesterday. The Water Street Project, 430 South Washington, the West Wall Extension, and the Dunkin' Donuts on Hillside in Washington represent the major projects that are ongoing or proposed and affect the Riverwalk. These projects are progressing as expected, and there is nothing scintillating to report at this time. The proposed Heritage Walk, which would be similar to Boston's Freedom Walk, represents an exciting new project that will be vetted in the near future. A new member was welcomed to the Commission yesterday. Jeff Rail, a landscape architect and longtime Naperville resident, is sure to be an asset. The Riverwalk is gorgeous this time of year, so get out and enjoy it before our next wave of polar vortices hits Naperville. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Heidi. Next, we have our future meetings. The next regular meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners will be August 28th, 2014, 6 o'clock at the South Maintenance Facility. Then our regular meeting, September 11th, 2014, 7 o'clock here in these chambers. And then September 25th, 2014, at the South Maintenance Facility. We have no items for executive session this evening. So next item is adjournment.
Move to adjourn the August 14th, 2014 regular meeting.
Second.
Should we discuss it a while?
Just a minute and a half.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
No, there is no discussion on a motion to adjourn.
Jackie, would you call the roll, please?
Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes.
Let the record reflect that my record has been broken. 11-minute meeting.
If only there had been a distraction.
Vice President Ori,
Here?
Commissioner Egan,
Present.
Commissioner Heidi,
Here.
Commissioner Janner,
Here.
Commissioner Todd,
Here.
Here.
Commissioner Young.
My record's broken and I'm totally forgotten.
Jackie, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No.
Then our next item is new business, Knock Knolls Nature Center project, materially differing subsurface conditions.
Move to find that, based upon the project's critical path, current status, and the desire to avoid ancillary costs associated with delay, it is in the best interest of the district to waive any requirements for further competitive bidding and further move to approve change order number 3 to the Knock Knolls Nature Center bid package number 1, mass grading and excavation contract between the Naperville Park District and Key Construction for the Knock Knolls Nature Center project for materially differing subsurface conditions in a lump sum not to exceed amount of $379,328.25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or is there any testimony on this topic? Director Schutz?
Yes, this evening we wanted to just give the board a little more background as far as the areas in question at Knock Knolls Park.
There it is. Now it's on. Pull the mic to you there, Eric. There you go.
State your address, please.
And you have 3 minutes.
Outstanding. So this here is a slide at Knock Knolls Park, and it's looking to the west. And the unsuitable materials in this case, what we found over the last couple of weeks was essentially construction debris. What you'll see is that little hole that's collecting water. That's where a lot of that construction debris was found. That had to be removed in order to provide a suitable subbase for the permeable paver parking lot at Knock Knolls Park. So that was removed all the way down to the bedrock stone on site. And so that's been completed. But now that the hole is bigger in that area, we need to backfill it with stone in order to provide the proper subbase for the new permeable paver parking lot. So this is looking west. This is on the west side of the parking lot. The next slide, this is more of the central portion of the parking lot. As you can see, these soils here are pretty good. This is suitable base material. We don't really have any issues in here. So we're in good shape here. But then when we get to the east side of the parking lot, and it's tough to see because there's a little discoloration with the photo, but when you're out there, you'll see this is black soil. There was a proof roll conducted last Friday on site, and identified that there needs to be another foot undercut, but at that point, new stone could be added. So essentially, we peeled back on the west and east sides of the parking lot all the suitable materials. As you probably saw in the other photo, there was some construction debris on site, still concrete, other cables, tires. All that has been hauled away, and so now we're ready to add stone. But the contractor in the first change order portion of work sorted all that on site. If they would have taken it all and put it in a dump truck and take it to a dump, they would have paid a much higher rate. So we had a lot of savings and got a lot of work done with that first change order, but now we have the second change order, which is essentially to fill in the site, prepare the sub-base, and then to move forward with the permeable paver parking lot.
Commissioner Todd?
Eric, there's a difference between the cost cited in your memo versus the motion.
Yes, the memo that's provided is actually the memo from June 26th.
Okay.
That was the first change order. In the motion, that's the second change order. So in cost, they're very similar, but you raise a good point as far as when we get to the cost, how do we define this? And even today already, we had a land surveyor out there surveying the holes in the ground. So we're comparing what has already been done to what we started with. We could figure what that volume is. Then we take that and multiply it times the competitive bid unit pricing that was in the original bid. So this is the best price possible. Unfortunately, it's the timing that isn't ideal, and we need to move forward to complete the parking lot. But we have the best price possible, and as part of executing this change order.
Right.
Commissioner Rory?
Eric, you're fully confident now that we've hit the surface, and with this change order that there will be no further unknowns down below?
Absolutely. And we had the testing service out on Friday, and the last remaining piece was on the east side, and that's where they recommended another foot undercut, but then after that, add the new stone. But on the west side of the parking lot, we hit the quarry rock. The site is completely exposed. It's just a matter now of adding this stone. So at this point, really only other unforeseen that can happen to this project is weather, which we can't control. But the contractor has been given already direction to move forward with based on base bid work and the dollars in that bid to keep moving the project along with the intent to get the parking lot completed as quickly as possible.
I was going to say you'll note the change order is a time and materials basis with a not to exceed. So we're only going to pay for actual quantities done and delivered, and that's in order to get them motivated and going, and hopefully they will deliver.
Commissioner Regan?
So with this change order, obviously it's not to exceed, but you said there's other savings. Where does this put the project overall?
In total, the project with this change order would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $6.7 million. And something to keep in mind with the OSLAD IDNR grant, that's $400,000. Illinois Clean Energy Community Foundation grant at $255,000. So that's a total of like $655,000. So if you add in the grants, we're probably in the 6.1 neighborhood.
How will you be monitoring the material that's removed in the quantity?
Daily. We're going to have a site inspector there every day that will be employed by the Naperville Park District to make sure they're watching the trucks come in and go out. Also, the contractor will be where we will have staff on site to make sure we're monitoring that process.
Will this add time to the already extension that we've granted?
Yeah, the extension that was granted was more for delays that occurred in May and June. And we had a revised schedule from a site meeting today. And the new schedule identifies that the gravel portion of the lot would be in like September 3rd. But the pavers would be in more like September 11th. But we realize if we have the gravel in place, we can probably still start programming. So as of this time, with this change order and the schedule that we have, it looks like we're going to be able to begin programming on September 8th. Again, the only caveat that's out there is the weather, which we can't control.
But
Yeah, the city has granted us a certificate of occupancy for the building, but it's temporary only in the sense that we've got to get access to the building for the patrons. And if we can get the east side gravelled and a path gravelled as well, and then the pavers can come at a later time. It'll be sufficient to get us open. And so that's the immediate goal. Plan A, of course, is to have it done appropriately, but at this point, and given what the weather looks to be, Plan B is if we can get the parking lot at least gravelled, then we can do the pavers one side at a time and continue to operate.
Commissioner Rory?
Yeah, I'm just concerned that we just granted 31 additional working days along the way. This work will be done within that time frame, weather permitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Commissioner Young?
Is there an alternative to this change order?
No, and we talked about this with our team, White & Company, our construction management team, with the testing service agent, and as identified, and that's why we wanted to share the June 26 board memo packet. We looked at all kinds of alternatives of what we can do here because it's so close to DuPage River and the water level is so high and the moisture. The only other, or the approach which we're proceeding with is to remove the unsuitable material and add stone and compact it. And so we identified this is the best and really only approach to move forward based on the site and location.
Any further discussion or questions? Jackie, call the roll, please.
Vice President Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Yes.
Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes.
Move to adjourn the August 14th, 2014 emergency meeting.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Aye.